Hi, my name is Contessa Gainsley and I'm a senior at Nolensville High School. This recipe was created by the NHS culinary team for the Tennessee Pro Star Invitational. The menu was dubbed Mediterranean Fusion, and this is the flatbread I made for the starter. It was created by my love for fresh ingredients and bread. I'm starting off by washing all my vegetables, 1 artichoke, 2 tomatoes, and 4 mushrooms. When it comes to the mushrooms, I have to make sure there's no dirt left on the tops of them, and I also take the stems out. I'm going to start making the flatbread with the cheese. This isn't the cheese, this is a stock photo. So I'm starting with 2 cups of milk and I'm putting it on the stove so that it scalds. So once it scalds, I add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, and then I stir it until the curdles form. Then, after the curdles form, I push it through a sieve, making sure to get all of the whey out of the actual portion of the cheese that I want, and that's the piece that I'm going to keep. I'm going to season it, and then I'm going to go put it in the fridge. So next I'm going to move on to the bread part of the flatbread. I'm going to start with 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to then add a half tablespoon of baking powder, and then add 2 tablespoons of butter, a half a cup of milk, and then mix it all together with a fork. After I mix it with a fork, I'm going to flour my surface and then knead the dough together to make sure everything's combined the right way. I'm then going to split it in 2 pieces, and I'm going to roll out both pieces of dough into a rectangle shape, and then I'm going to put oil on my pan and heat it up so that each side of the rectangle dough comes to this color. I'm going to move on to my vegetables. I'm going to start by mincing my garlic and my shallots and then separating them into 2 groups. I'm going to move on to my artichoke, probably one of the most difficult parts. So I'm going to start by cutting off the stem and then cutting off the top portion so that it lays flat. I'm going to dismantle it, take all the petals off, and then I'm going to cut off more of the pieces so I get to the heart. Then I'm going to go for the choke and cut out all of the choke, and then I'm going to place it in vinegar water and put a paper towel over it. I'm then going to move on to making it more edible. I'm going to cut off all of the green pieces and make it look like this, and then I'm going to cut it in half and start to slice it horizontally so that I get these small little pieces here. After the artichoke, I'm going to go to the mushrooms. So I've got my 4. I'm going to chop them up just as I did the artichoke. I'm then going to put extra virgin olive oil in my pan, adding in my shallots. Once it's hot, I'm then going to also add in my mushrooms and my artichoke because they both pretty much cook the same way. I'm adding them both in at the same time, and then I'm going to saute them. And then I'm going to add some thyme, wrong kind of thyme this time, 1 thyme sprig, and I'm going to take the leaves off of it pretty much, and then put them in there, as well as some garlic. Then I'm going to move on to the tomatoes. Basically, since they're already washed, all I have to do is score the bottoms of them so they're easier to peel. I also take the cores out. I prepare my ice bath, and then I place both of these in boiling water. Once the peel peels itself off pretty much, I take them out and I put them into the ice bath to stop the cooking. So it was like a blanch and shock little process. Then I have both tomatoes here, and then I start to peel off the skin of the tomato. Once they're fully peeled, I then move on and I quarter them, and then I take the seeds out and make sure that they lay flat. Once that's finished, I then go ahead and I start to small dice them. I then add some oil into my already hot pan, and I toss in my garlic, shallots, and tomatoes. I season with salt, pepper, and sugar, and once it's done cooking, I turn the heat off and add my torn basil. And all that's left is to assemble it. This recipe basically makes 2 servings of this entire appetizer, so you get 2. This is me pretty much just plating everything. You kind of just sprinkle everything over the top until it looks nice. I add oil and balsamic and parsley over the top to finish it off. And that's it. Pretty much that's my whole dish.